Hello and welcome to BHS-TV News. I'm your host Andy Din alongside my co-host Henry Carroll diving into this month's news.
Our first topic in this episode is New Year's resolutions. Speaking of which, what's yours, Andy?
Oh, me? I'm just trying to hang in there until the end of the year. Same as always.
That's fair if you ask me. Here we have Lena Giandali on the scene to interview students and staff on what they want to do differently for this new year.
With the start of the new year comes New Year's resolutions, determinations or goals that people across the world set at the beginning of the new year. This tradition helps bring hope for change, a fresh start, and lets us steer our lives in the right direction moving forward. YouGov America surveyed several Americans about New Year's resolutions. According to their data, 25% of Americans have goals for the new year. People are pretty optimistic too, with 20% believing that they will accomplish their goals, and over 85% believing that 2022 will be a better year than 2021. Popular New Year's resolutions include helping the environment and trying new cooking recipes. But the number one most common New Year's resolution is self-improvement, which includes improving sleep schedules, drinking more water, and practicing self-love. We here at BHS-TV News interviewed several students asking them what their New Year's resolutions are.
New Year's resolution is to be brave enough to be bad at something new.
To study more for AP Bio.
To improve my skincare routine.
Best of luck in the new year, Blackhawks.
Thanks, Lena. On the topic of change, one big change that happened earlier this month was the kickstart of the new Esports Team. Speaking of which, Andy here helped create the Esports Teams.
Thanks, but you give me too much credit, Henry. Now we have Wyatt here to explore behind the scenes of how this new sport came to be.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Cleveland, and today you'll be interviewing the Esports Team, asking them how esports is different from other orthodox sports. Take a look. Hi, I'm here with
Davina Baines.
Now, what is your role in the Esports Team?
I'm a founder and manager.
What were the most popular games at tryouts?
The most popular games are Overwatch and League of Legends.
Do you plan to have any makeup days?
We do. They will probably be early February, but the dates are not decided yet.
One last question for you, Navina. Who do you main in Smash?
Ike.
Hi, I'm here with
Morris Mitchell.
How many games were chosen and were any restricted?
Out of the 7 games we had the option to use or play, we chose all 7.
What's the next upcoming event?
So the preseason will be starting January 31st, and the actual season will be starting February 21st.
One last question for you, Morris. Who do you main in Smash?
I mean Pikachu.
Thank you, Navina and Morris. I'm Wyatt Cleveland, and this has been the Esports Team. Take it back to you, BHS-TV News.
Thanks for the insight, Wyatt. It was interesting to hear about how the teammates worked hard to make this sport a reality at BHS.
Sorry to change the topic, but did you hear about the box office sales for the new Spider-Man movie? Apparently, as of January 17th, No Way Home grossed about $1.6 billion, making it the highest grossing film of all time, smashing records and winning awards left and right. My favorite part is when...
Anyways, on the topic of movies, Brady's here with an overview on the movies coming out this year.
Hello, I'm Brady Goldman, and today I'm going to report all of the 2022 superhero movies coming out. On April 1st, 2022 comes Morbius, directed by Daniel Espinosa. Biochemist Michael Morbius tries to cure himself of his rare blood disease. While looking for a supernatural cure, he inadvertently gives himself vampirism. On March 4th, 2022 comes The Batman, directed by Michael Reeves. Our next movie is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi. Following the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange teams up with Wanda Maximoff to fix the multiverse. The next upcoming Marvel movie on July 8th is Thor: Love and Thunder, directed by Taika Waititi. Currently, at the date of recording, we do not know the plot details, but we know it stars Chris Hemsworth. On July 29th comes Black Adam, starring The Rock as the titular character. 5,000 years after he gains Egyptian powers, he is freed from his tomb and to bring justice to this world, no matter how odd it may be. Our next film is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Although we do not know the plot details, we know it follows Miles Morales as he continues his journey across the Spider-Verse following the 2018 film. The next movie is The Flash, coming out November 4th. Although we do not know the plot details, we do know it has something to do with the multiverse for the upcoming DC Universe movies. It stars Ezra Miller and features Michael Keaton, returning as Batman for the first time in many years. Coming out in December is Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. Directed by James Wan and starring Jason Momoa, this is a sequel to the 2018 film, Aquaman. Lastly is Batgirl. Although we do not know the release date, we know it is coming out this year and will be streaming exclusively on HBO Max. Are you excited for the movies this year? I sure am, especially Thor: Love and Thunder. I love the 2017 movie Thor: Ragnarok, and I cannot wait to see what else Taika Waititi does. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Thanks, Brady. I'm excited to hear about the newest movies coming out. I needed new things to watch anyway, so this checks out perfectly.
On a not-so-fun note, the newest COVID variant, Omicron, has broken records as the fastest-spreading strain in this pandemic. With 1 million infections each day, this disease is spreading like wildfire. Hospitals are struggling to keep up, and there's no more room to take patients. Schools are missing teachers and students, and many essential workers have had to quarantine as well. I myself had it over a winter break, and it seriously wasn't fun. Keep your masks on and keep socially distancing. It could save someone else's life.
You know what else is stressful? The finals, of course. Everyone's scrambling to tie up loose ends for the end of the semester, and seniors are no different. Christian's here to shed some light about what seniors go through preparing for finals.
Today I'm here with
Aaron Martin.
And how stressed are you for midterms this year?
As a senior, I'm a little stressed because we have a decent amount of finals, but I am ready for the finals.
That's good. And this year, how do you prepare for studying for your exams?
I just look over what my teachers have taught in the last few weeks and just do a bunch of study material for that.
Thank you for being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm here with
Jordan Holman.
And today, how stressed are you for your midterms?
I'm not too worried about it, only because we switched back to the final experiences, so it makes it easier on the students and puts less stress on us overall. So.
That's good. And how are you going to prepare this year compared to the others?
This year I'm probably going to do the same thing. I usually go to the library and just study, get my hours in, and I think I'm going to do the same thing this year.
Today I'm here with
Seth Kruger.
And how stressed are you for finals week this year?
I'd say I'm pretty stressed this year. It's obviously finals week on top of everything else that's gone on with our school and in the world in general this year.
And how do you plan on taking finals week this year?
I'm probably going to focus on the classes that I need to improve my grade in and honestly not really worry about the other ones and hope for the best in that.
All right, thank you for your time today. Today I'm here with
Toby Buckfire.
And how stressed are you for finals week this year?
I'd say I'm pretty stressed out, probably like a 7 out of 10. I got a couple bigger projects and tests that I have to do, and so we'll see how it goes.
How do you plan on taking finals this year?
Well, I plan on just kind of working through all projects and assignments I have to get it done before the finals weekend, and that way I can just spend the rest of the weekend studying with the tests. I might go to the library and just study with some friends, but yeah.
All right, thank you for your time today.
Yep.
Thanks, Christian. We seniors sure went through a lot this last year.
Can confirm. With everything that's been going on, it's been difficult to keep track of schoolwork. I think the same can be said for everybody else.
Not me. I've been on top of all of my classes.
Really?
No.
Well, that's unfortunate. Going back to the topic of acting, the newest school play, Love's Labor's Lost, is set to happen soon. Here we have Emily to tell you more about said play.
A modern sports-themed rendition of Shakespeare's Love's Labor's Lost has been in rehearsal at BHS's theater department since December and will be open for the public on February 10th. A few of the cast members of the show shared their thoughts about it. You can see Love's Labor's Lost on February 10th for $5 per seat purchased on bhs.ludus.com. Tickets are on sale now. Come see this amazing show and support BHS's theater department.
Thank you, Emily. I, for one, am excited to hear about it, and I know many other students are as well. Get your tickets to see it while you still can.
Earlier this month, New York City was shaken by the death of Michelle Go, who was killed after being fatally shoved in front of a subway. She was waiting for a train in the Times Square subway station when she was pushed from behind onto the tracks. One of the big questions that has emerged following Michelle Go's death is how New York City can make its subway system safer. Crime within subway stations is on the rise, and post-pandemic, ridership numbers remain low, half of what they were in 2019. As New York City Council member Alexa Vilas mentioned on Twitter, many New Yorkers are pointing to the protective barriers used in subway stations in European and Asian cities. This is a debate that arises time and time again whenever a civilian is killed by being pushed onto the tracks. Back in 2014, transit advocates called for protective barriers following the violent death of Wai-Kwun Kwok, who was shoved in front of a train. Even now, it's unsure if officials will comply with these demands. Protective barriers aren't as easy to build in New York City as they are in Europe or Asia, and that's due in part to New York City subways being outdated. Jana Lieber, CEO of the MTA, explained that the varying train styles from station to station also raises costs for the installation of protective barriers. It's not just New York City that is battling with an aging or dysfunctional transit system. America's public transportation systems have been lacking for quite some time. From our biggest cities, like Los Angeles to New York City, to the suburbs of Metro Detroit, we failed to advance one of our most basic services. Our government needs to make a bigger investment into public transportation. Not only will this make these systems safer, but it will also help us build a more equitable and environmentally conscious society. Advocacy organizations like Transportation for America argue that this can be achieved by committing half the money we spend on our highways on improving the infrastructure of public transit. We can't bring back Michelle Go. Her death was a senseless act of violence. What we can do is look to the future and improve the society that enables an incident like hers. And that starts with taking on public transit.
Attention, Bloomfield Hills High School students. Winter is here and the possibilities for snow days are better than ever. It is important to know that Oakland County is experiencing a snow truck driver shortage. As exciting as it is to wake up and no school, hitting the roads is going to have to be pushed back into later in the day and only drive if it is mandatory. Because after all, snow days are intended for your safety. As the roads get plowed, it will be much safer to drive, but it is still important to be alert of black ice. Black ice is ice that is not easily visible on the roads, so make sure to do the following. Reduce your driving speed. Brake with more than enough time to come to a complete stop. And most importantly, put your car in four-wheel drive. It will also be smart to put a coat, gloves, water, and a blanket in your car in case you do end up in a ditch with nobody there to help you for a little bit. If you keep these things in mind, you should be all set to enjoy the day. So tonight, remember to put a spoon under your pillow, wear your pajamas inside out, and flush some ice cubes down the toilet, if you believe in that stuff. Stay safe out there, BHHS.
And I think that covers all of our topics for today's episode. This has been Andy.
And Henry. And we thank you for watching. And remember to tune in next time to BHS-TV News. Signing off.